We've got a fan, actually, who is a Spurs fan. We're going to take our first call now. It's Jack. Jack, can you hear me?
Turn it down. Hello. How are you guys?
Good, thanks, Jack. I want to know straight away, good result today. How are you feeling about Spurs and the way you're playing under Conte?
I'm totally honest. It was boring. It was a hard watch. But you leave, you're on the M25 on the way home, and you do have 3 points.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Would I rather be expansive, flowing, and have 0 points? I wouldn't. But it's a tough watch. I won't lie. It is a very, very, very tough watch. You know, not a lot of chances on goal, not a lot of, you know, real flowing football. But 3 points. End of the day, it's 3 points. I mean, would you disagree with that?
No, I was just saying that, Jack, and I'll come back to you on this because I think that it's what Spurs fans want, really, isn't it? You can't argue with the fact that you got top 4 last year, and you can't argue with the fact that you may well get top 4 this year, because today is the sort of result that will get you top 4 ahead of your rivals. But I suppose you look across at Arsenal and the football they're playing, and obviously they're a little bit ahead of you. Do you think that Conte will ever deliver that? And do you think that is a bit of an issue for Spurs fans? Or do you just think, you know what, as long as we're getting wins and we're in the top 4, that's good for Spurs?
I think we need to take a back step. Last year, when we were battering teams and scoring 4, 5, 6, we were a serious side. You know, let's not forget that. You know, Arsenal, we are still early in the season. We can't argue with that either. And you know, at the end of the day, it is still very early on. Would I like to see better football? Of course I would. But it doesn't really matter, come what may, where you are at the end of the season. You know, I personally think we should play a lot better than how, you know, against Brighton. People disagree with me, but, you know, it's just the 3 points again. But I do want to see Tottenham playing better football. I want to see us scoring more goals. I think we can score more goals, and I think we are a better team than what we show. But you leave there, you're on your way home, and no, not to repeat it, but 3 points at the end of the day is 3 points. Arsenal don't win tomorrow, suddenly Tottenham are up there.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. I think you just broke up at the end, but yeah, covered it perfectly anyway. You could almost say as well, it's a very different season. And I think you can't really judge any team until they come back from the World Cup and get into that grind of post-Christmas, January, February. And maybe Conte's looked at this and gone, look, the best way to approach this season, it's a bit of a stop-start season, is to make sure when we come back from the World Cup, we're in the race. And if that means we play a little bit pragmatic and grind out a little bit, they've definitely got the players to play a better way. Basuma is an expansive player. He can take the ball with his back to the opposition and play through the lines. Harry Kane, Kulusevski, Son, Richarlison. So it's better to be picking up the points, but I think Spurs fans would like to pick up a few better entertaining performances. Speaking of which, we've got Christian, also a Spurs fan. Christian, what are you thinking about Spurs then?
Yeah, hi. How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, like, I'm a football fan, and obviously I love Spurs, and I played football at a high level. So for me, it's about being solid. And I think Conte, what he's done is he's looked at the team, the squad, and he's thought it isn't a great squad, but they're like solid. All the players are solid. And then he's thought, I haven't got a midfielder of like James Maddison, so what I need to do is just keep us tight, and that's what he's done.
Do you think Conte will stay for long? This is the only. I'm just throwing this out there because I think if the right job came in from Italy, Conte would go. And what's the long-term project? Do you see Conte as a manager that's going to take you a title, build you up over the next few years, or do you see it as a bit of a holding your ground in the Champions League until he goes in the next year or two?
I think that if he gets like a couple of good midfielders, when I say midfielders, I mean someone like Maddison, someone who you know you can get a 50-yard ball out or just get that through pass, and instead of Kane having to come back, I think that he might stay for another season. But if it doesn't happen, I think if he got a team come in for him, he'll go. But that's no offence to him because I think he's a great manager. You know, he needs to be in the top club, and Tottenham are like lucky to have him, I think.